What's up, everybody? Welcome to the chair with James. This is Raider Preview, Raider Weekly, a recap of Week 8 against Houston, and the Week 9 Week 9 preview against the Detroit Lions. Of course, last week, gotta take a shot. Fortunately, the Raiders lost 27-24 in Houston. It's one of those back and forth games. Raiders led, then Houston came back and ended up winning. Just couldn't score enough, couldn't defend enough, and it hurts. It hurts every time when you can't do uh, enough to win, I guess. And sometimes the games go like that. Remember, the Raiders have a young team, but there's a lot developing. You have Waller and Jacobs. You have a defense where some are doing it, some are doing very well, some aren't. And we just gotta get that situated. Shot because we lost. Done and done. Ooh. Win Raiders. The vodka's hurting after all these losses, man. Okay. So each quarterback had 3 touchdowns, passing and no picks. Carr threw for 285 yards. For Watson, he had 279 yards. One of those passes, let me tell you something. It was just amazing by Watson. He was rushing, running around, kicked in the face. He had a big cut around his eye. He was able to somehow look through one eye and find the open man for a touchdown that would end up giving him the win eventually in the fourth quarter. The Raiders led 14-10 at the half. After 3, they led 21-13. Then Houston scored 14. The Raiders can only get 3 in the fourth. That was very tough to swallow there for sure. Jacobs on the ground had 66 yards rushing. Washington with 23. Receiving wise, Tyrell Williams, great game. 91 yards, 1 touchdown. Renfro with 88 yards and 1 touchdown. Great to see those guys developing there. Jones with 27, Richard with 24, Jacobs with 15, Davis with 15. Waller had 11 but a touchdown. Morneau had 10, and Washington with 4. The defense, Whitehead, 11 tackles. Man, he was everywhere. Joseph with 7, Crosby with 6. Harris, Joyner, Morrow, Worley with 5. Hankins, Hall, Lawson, Mullen with 4. He had 2. Crosby even forced a fumble, but again, it wasn't enough. On the ground, Carlos Hyde for Houston, 83 yards rushing. Watson at 46 himself. Hopkins, the receiver for the Houston Texans, had 109 yards. Receiving Fells with 58, Carter 46. Duke Johnson at 22, Stills at 20. No, Duke had 33, Stills with 22. Remember, this was without Will Hiller Jr., the receiver for Houston. So with him, it could have been worse, let's say, but it wasn't, thankfully. So now for the Raiders, they return home finally. God, they were on the road a long time. They were in another country. They were in another country, man. They were in London. And they went to Green Bay. And they went to Houston. Just a long trip home, you know. Back in Oakland, Detroit comes in at 3-3-1. The Raiders 3-4. Um, Raiders took 9 long flights, traveled about 20,000 miles, just overhauled their roster pretty much. It was a 7-week odyssey, including a bye week, of course, with that. Winning 2 of the 5 games uh, in that time. The one thing I would hope that the Raiders, the crowd, the black hole, they're really into it on Sunday in Oakland. Um Derek Carr was saying, "Hey, we miss them. They miss us." Talking about the fans. Hopefully, there's a environment where it's really loud, really crazy. Oh yeah, the trip. Like I said, um, London got the win in Chicago, a bye week. Then trips to Green Bay and Houston, which are losses. The win in London was 4 weeks ago, if you can believe that. Um, it's one of these crazy games. Matthew Stafford, we gotta talk about. Hey, how can they stop the Lions? Well, Matthew Stafford, he is one of those passers who will get his no matter what. Titus Young with uh, they have a couple of tight ends, one young, one old. Jesse James old, Hacken's son, TJ Hacken's son from Iowa. He's a really good receiver, tight end, excuse me. Rookie coming up, learning from Jesse James. Remember Jesse James? He was with the Steelers all those years, but they love to spread the wealth on Detroit. Kenny Galloway, great receiver, Danny Amendola. These two, these couple of guys are just awesome. Defensively for the Lions, they didn't trade Darius Slay. They thought, others thought they would, and were lining up offers, but I guess nothing intrigued the Lions to trade him. Raiders didn't make any trades either, but it's amazing that they're both defenses. This I just read this now. Both defenses, they are the worst in passing defense. So this means it's going to be a high scoring game. There's going to be a lot of passing touchdowns and all that. So we're going to see we'll see a lot of that uh, tomorrow on Sunday. So if they can stop the running game, which they're down, the Lions are down to their second and third string running backs. They had Johnson and Johnson, and now one of them is gone, and Karen Johnson will be in. C.J. Anderson is there as well, but he hasn't played much. That's one thing. That's one thing I was wondering. Would he play much? Matt Patricia, uh, their head coach, the Belichick disciple, you know, he's got the Lions, you know, respectable, but you still don't trust him if you were to pick him or whatnot. So yeah, if the Raider defense can get pressure on Stafford, make him throw bad passes, and he doesn't have to, which is basic. The Raiders can end up getting this game, I believe. But if Stafford is able to do what he wants, has time, find receivers out there, uh, could be a long day. For the Raiders offensively, their offensive line banged up. Uh, Colton Miller is the only starter. Their second-year left tackle. Incognito is there, but he missed the first 2 games. He's there, the right guard. Gabe Jackson is missing the game with a knee injury. Trent Brown is missing a game, and Rodney Hudson is out. So, man, Carr's going to need to roll out and have time to throw. Damian Harrison on the Lions defense, I forgot to mention him. He's one of those guys that will get physical, get in there, and disrupt things, and he'll be looking to do that. That would be key. And one of those targets that Carr has is Tyrell Williams. If they can get him the ball, he's been doing well a couple of games as of late. Excuse me. Hunter Renfrow had a great game last week. They get Darren Waller going. That'd be awesome to see. Get him a few touchdowns and some posts. That'd be fun. And then not only mix it up with passing, but you get running with Jacobs. Hopefully get him going against the Lions on the outside, getting some key blocks on a sweep. That'd be awesome to see. I think it's imperative you have both going well in order for the Raiders to win. The run and the pass I'm talking about. If you don't have those two things going, you got to hope your defense wins the game. But you can't do that to a young defense, especially a young team like the Raiders are. I'm gonna say the Raiders win. I'm gonna say it'll be by. I can see this being a field goal game and high scoring. I could see like 33-30. I can see something like that. Well, both defenses will have their issues, stopping the offense. But maybe one key play will make it happen, and a field goal will win the game. Hopefully Daniel Carlson will do that. So I say the Raiders win 33-30. In the short recap of Week 8 and Week 9 preview. This has been the Chair Raider Weekly. And we'll see what happens. Go Raiders. Black Hole. Know what it is. Get out there. Yell. Scream. Whatever you can do. Yell, scream. Let's do it. And I'll be watching. I'll be open, for a better result than the last few weeks, because the last few weeks have been very, very disheartening. I want to see a win. I want to see a win, and I want to see a win back. So, leave you with some East Oakland flavor. We'll catch you later. We'll catch you next time on Raider Weekly. But we will have other segments as we go along on this journey called The Chair. It's been James. We'll see you later.